Good evening, everybody. We'll begin today's session. This session is specially curated for certain questions associated with visual ability and cognitive reasoning both. But there's higher stress on visual ability based question. All right, we'll begin now. Here you're given a set of numbers. These numbers, they are organized in certain hexagonal groups, which means they are related with each other. You have to find the number that will replace this question mark, which is happening in this cell. Which number will replace this question mark that is happening in this particular cell? What we are given here is these hexagon groups are arranged in a particular order. It means there's some relationship between sets or subsequently within each other. But first we start with the first assumption that within one set, whatever number that we are given, they are all related with each other. We'll start with the first assumption. Now, if I take this whole number and if I start seeing them as single cells, like say, for example, if I see these two parts and these two parts, when I add them, the product is going to be the same. Likewise, when I say 5 plus 6 and 4 plus 7 equals 11, both will equal 11, like is the case with 8, 6, 8, 6. Now, when I go to the last one, it's 8 plus 2 is 10, 6 plus 4 is 10, which means that, yes, the addition works. Now, in the next place, I'm just going to cross-check this, all right? Now, I'm cross-checking the next cell also, this cell also, cell number 2. 7 plus 8, 15, 9 plus 6, 15 works. 7 plus 8 works, and then 9 plus 6 also works. 7 plus 5, 12, 9 plus 3, 12 works. 7 plus 6, 13, 1 plus 2, it's not working here. This part is somewhere where it's not working. So I say that, okay, it was working in this segment, but here in one part it's not working. So what if we are supposed to treat this whole number as 1? Because subsequently, if you see this vertical addition, it was working in all these 4 cells, but only at certain point it's not working, which means that what if there's a carryover involved in this part, and then because of that we are not able to sort this out? What if that is the assumption? Okay, so in that case, if I take them as one number, if I take this one whole row as one number, and then I do the same following, like this, row 1 plus row 2 equals row 3 and row 4. What if we'd say that? So what I'm saying is 6, 8, 4, 9 plus 4, 6, 7, 5 will equal to 8, 6, 5, 9 plus 2, 8, 6, 5. 6, 8, 4, 9, sorry. So yeah, 6, 8, 4, 9 plus 4, 6, 7, 5 equals 8, 6, 5, 9 plus 2, 8, 6, 5. When you add this up, both of them, 1 second. Both of them, when you add it up, equals 1, 1, 5, 2, 4, 1, 1, 5, 2, 4. So this is getting satisfied. Now I go with the second cell where the vertical relationship was not getting satisfied. Let's check that out. 5, 7, 7 plus 5, 6, 5, 8. 5, 7, 7 plus 5, 6, 5, 8 is equal to 9, 2, 9, 9 plus 2, 1, 3. Sorry, 6. So this equals 1, 1, 4, 3, 5. This equals 1, 1, 4, 3, 5. So in both the cases, this is getting satisfied. Now I don't need to check it here because I'm assuming it will be satisfying Z, because this relationship and then the carryover, because there is 5 involved, 6 involved, because there might be some carryover happening here. So I'm assuming that the third cell also the same relationship would be established. But if you want, I'll just write it down again. 4271 plus 6005 will be equal to 4595 plus 5681. 10276. Both are equal, which means that in the last cell also the same relationship has to be satisfied. So 3284 plus x. I'm just writing the number x. Let me write it in a linear manner. Sorry, that is confusing. In the other case, it was fine. Here I will write it in a linear equation. So 3284 plus x. I'm just writing x as a number. Okay, I want to find what is x. Is equal to 4492 plus 4492 plus 68244. So this will equal to 11336. 3284 plus x will be equal to that. So x ka value will be 8052. 052 are here, which means the question mark is the number 8, which is the correct answer for this. We'll move to the next one. The front view of a solid object is shown. This is a question in visualization, all right? The other was in cognitive ability. Here, you're given a one-sided view, elevation or plan. It could be anything because it's a symmetrical object. What a symmetrical object means, it looks the same when you look at it from all the 6 sides. So here, this object will be looking the same from all the sides because it's written here if all the views are of all 6 sides are the same. So the front view of the solid object is shown. This is a front view. The top view will also be the same. The other side view and the other side view will also be the same. The left and the right side view. The bottom view will also be the same. The back side view will also be the same. You have to find the total number of surfaces that this object has. Now in this case, if you look at it, the parts 1, 2, 3, and 4, all the 4 sides they are same. What I can draw the clue is from the center, the top part. The top part in the center is where I have to draw the clue as to whether the shape is a cone, a cuboid, or a cylinder. Okay, so we'll go one by one. When I look at the top part here, we'll look at how many surfaces will this one part has. I am right now looking at the surfaces that are present in only this one segment. Okay. So I'm not going to go into details of every single one because it's symmetrical and it has all 6 sides are same. So if I just crack this one part, just this one part, I just have to multiply it by 6 because that part is happening on 6 sides, 1, 2, 3, 4, in the front 5 and the back 6. So I just have to count it once. Like I've counted 1, 2, 3, and then this is the 4th one. This is the 5th one in the front, and then there will be a 6th one at the back also, like this. So this part, this triangle is what the elevation looks like, versus in the plan, this triangle is a circle, which means that it is a cone. A cone has one surface. Now I'm going to the next one, the bottom surface. This is again a circle in plan, because I don't get a similar side any other shape happening in plan, which means this is a cylinder. So one surface gets added for the cylinder. At the bottom in this part, this object which looks like a box and some one line in the center is a square in plan, which means this ये जो line है आपका, this line is where this point is located. ये point का line, this is the one, which means that this is a cube and cube has 1, 2, 3, and 4 sides, and then there will be one top surface which will be happening here. ये वाला जो top surface है उसका, this is also we have to count, so 4 plus 1 surface on the top. So I'm not writing it here, but let me erase the other. Let me just erase the other part so it's not getting confused. So 1, 2, 3, and 4 edges, verticals. So this will be 2 and 3, and then the top surface is the fifth one, so 4 plus 1. The bottom part, which you see here, that bottom part, this bottom part, is what is this in plan. The circle is what it is, this bottom part in plan. Is of a weird shape. So this is a cylinder. A cylinder again has one surface, but if you look at the plan, I am seeing this 1, 2nd, 3rd, and then 4 surfaces. So again 1 plus 4 surface. When I add this all of these up together, I get 10 and 12. So 12 surfaces. So what it means is there are 12 surfaces in this one part. There are 6 such parts. It's written here, all on all 6 sides, the surfaces are same. So they look the same, which means that this one part is getting repeated on all the 6 sides. So 12 multiplied by 6, which is equal to 72. The total number of surfaces that are there in this solid is 72. Here, you're supposed to find the area of the hexagon upon the area of the gray part, area of the hexagon upon the area of the gray part. Now, what it means is you are supposed to find the relationship between the gray part versus the whole hexagon. So I'm just drawing the relationship. In order to extract the relationship, what we do first is we try to find the multiples, try to extract the multiple relationships that one can try finding it out between these surfaces. Okay, so this line, because I need to break this gray part into multiple proportions which are in proportion with the existing hexagon, I will break the hexagon into multiple forms. Now, if you look at the current figure, I have, and also sorry, one more line is missing. I'm sorry. Yeah. Now, if you look at this diagram that I have drawn here, all the triangles that are getting formed in the triangle, in the hexagon are of the same size. So all I will do is right now I will count the number of triangles, how many number of triangles are getting formed in this or in the whole hexagon, not in the gray part. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So we have 12 hexagons, 12 triangles. So we have 12 triangles getting formed in the whole hexagon. And the gray part, which you see is made up, which you can see is made up of 1, 2, 3, and 4 parts. And then 4 triangles are made up of the gray part. So the required proportion which is being asked here means 12 triangles upon 4 triangles, which is equal to 3. So the required ratio that we are supposed to find is 3. Next. Here, you're shown the urban map, urban road map of a city. The boundary of the city is a perfect rectangle. The black dotted line that you can see here is a perfect rectangle. The gray lines indicate the major roads running parallel to the edges of the city. The red line shows the route taken by a bus from point P to point Q. If the perimeter of the boundary is 68 kilometers, what is the distance traveled by the bus in kilometers? Very simple. What is given is what is the distance traveled by the bus along the red route. We have to find the distance length of the red route. We are given the perimeter of rectangle, which is 68 kilometers. Now, if you look at the red route, we have to find the relationship of the red route with the overall perimeter. If you see the red route, it actually traces each and every part. So this is one part, second part. ये वाला part है is the third part. This is the fourth part. Likewise, if I go ahead, यहाँ तक आके आपका ये वाला part, सारे horizontal parts, if I keep on tracing, or rather the parts which are parallel to the horizontal surface of the rectangle, if I keep on tracing, or the length of the rectangle, they will formulate the whole over total length of the rectangle L. Likewise, if I do this same exercise for the vertical and keep on tracing all the parts of the vertical here, I will be able to trace all the verticals till I go till the top part here, which means that all the vertical lines make up to the breadth of the rectangle equal to the breadth, it will equal to the breadth of the rectangle. I know the perimeter's formula is 2 into L plus B, which is equal to 68 kilometers. Now the distance traveled on the route will be equal to length plus breadth. The perimeter of the rectangle is 2 into L plus B, and which is equal to 68. I have to find the value of L plus B, which will be equal to 68 by 2 from, I'm writing here for reference, equation 1, which is equal to 34 kilometers, which is the answer that we are looking for. Go to the next one. You have to find the digit. Here you are given different digit. You have to find the digit, one digit, that is not written in the same font as others. You have to find one digit that is not written in the same font as others. So if you, in this case, if you very carefully observe all the fonts and just observe how they end, like this, here, 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 and also here. The end is actually it's not pointed, but it's a little bit curved, and then it raises out, and then it again goes down. So it's like at some angle. It's not horizontal, but it's some weird angle, some steep angle. And it's a curve that is happening, like we see here, like we see here. 5 is the only one where I see a knot, where I see some kind of a blow like this. And I also see a vertical raising out. So from the horizontal surface, there is some kind of a vertical that is getting raised out on top. So 5 is the font that we are looking at, digit that we are looking at, which is in a different font, which is the correct answer. Okay. You're given circular biscuits of diameter 10 centimeters. They are arranged in a circular plate. The white part that you see, the larger boundary, is a circular plate, and then there are 10 centimeters circular biscuits that are arranged. So when I draw a total diameter like this, one part, which is this much, and this much, so I'll use a different color, they look the same. One part, which is this much, and this much, is equal to 10 centimeters. What you have to find is the circumference of the plate in centimeters. Circumference of the bigger plate in centimeters. Now, in any case, when you have a situation like this, we need the I know, so okay, chalo, what I know in this case is, I know this is 10 centimeters. I mean, one part. I know this much part is 10 centimeters, okay? All I need to find is the middle distance that is there. In these kind of cases where all are circle, all the 6 sides are circle, and there are 6 circles arranged within a circle, within a larger plate, the center radius, which is the center part distance, which is remaining, will be equal to the diameter of the smaller circle. So what it means is कि ये जो आपका बीच वाला circle जो है, sorry for this, let me draw it. The center circle that will come here, this center circle, the diameter will be same as the gray circles that you are seeing, the smaller circles that we are seeing, which is equal to 10 centimeters. So this kind of a relationship, now you'll ask me why. This kind of relationship is very easily seen in, so if you see in your kitchen, if you have a circular masala container with smaller circular individual masala containers within it, which are circle or cylindrical in size, that is actually the same relationship that we establish here, where there's a bigger plate and then there are smaller circles. This is the example in geometry. So if there are smaller modular circles and they all are of the same size, the middles, when they are touching each other, there is no overlap between the gray circles. The middle circle, the middle portion which is left behind, can also accommodate one more circle inside within itself, which will be of the same size as these gray small circles. So the middle circle's diameter is 10 centimeters. The circumference of the plate of the centimeter which is being asked will be equal to 2 pi r. R is the radius of the bigger plate, 2 into 22 by 7 multiply by radius will be equal to 15. Approximately equal to 94.28 centimeters, which is the correct answer. In these kind of questions, unless it is mentioned here that go up to so many decimals, go up to 1 decimal, or go up to 2 decimals, try going up to 2 decimals at least. Don't go till one decimal and then just write your answer. Try going up to at least 2 decimal places, unless and until it is mentioned in the question itself. Okay. Here, we are given a pulley system. Now, in this pulley system, you are given various diameters of the pulleys. What you are given is pulley P undergoes 4.5 rotations. This pulley undergoes 4.5 rotations. This is what is given. What I have to find is how many rotations will pulley S undergo. Please note, in these kind of questions, it's actually very simple. You just have to keep on go linearly and keep on finding the relationship between one pulley and second pulley. Like in this case, P is attached to this pulley, which is named as A. So P is attached to pulley A is attached to pulley B is attached to pulley R, and which is how should I put it? Concentrically attached to pulley Q, and Q is attached to pulley S. So in order to reach to S, I will have to start with P and A relationship. What is the relationship between P and A? If P is 40, P has a diameter of 40 and A has a diameter of 20, which means that when A is undergoing one rotation, P will be undergoing half rotation, and one more rotation of A will be another rotation. I'm writing small a, and then one more rotation of small a will be another will add up to the complete rotation of P. All right. So 20 is the diameter. Why am I saying this is circumference is the distance traveled by the pulley. Okay. So if this is a circle, and from this point A till again coming back to point A, if this circle is moving and then it reaches another point A, the distance travel will be equal to The distance traveled by this disk will be equal to the circumference of the disk. So in the circumference formula, which is 2 pi r, or even it can be written as pi d. D is the only variable which changes. Pi is a constant, which means that I don't need to keep on repeating, calculating the area, calculating the circumference of all the spheres, but I just need to find the relationship between the diameter because the pi is going to be constant. Okay. So between P and A, if P, what I established, when A is undergoing 2 rotations, P will undergo 1 rotation. Henceforth, since P is undergoing 4.5 rotation, A will undergo double the rotations, which is 9. 4.5 multiplied by 2. Okay. Similarly, between A and B, the same relationship is coming. The diameter is half. B ka diameter is half of that of A, which means when A is undergoing 1 rotation, B will be undergoing 2 rotation, like we established here. Iska 40 tha, iska 20 tha. A ka diameter is half of that of P, which means that when P undergoes 1 rotation, A will undergo 2 rotation. Likewise, between A and B also, when A undergoes 1 rotation, let me use a different color. When A undergoes 1 rotation, B will undergo 2 rotations. So now in this case, I know A is undergoing 9 rotations, which means B will undergo 9 multiplied by 2, which is 18 rotations. B will undergo. B is undergoing 18 rotations. The next part is here. B and R are connected with each other. B is 10 diameter, R is 40 diameter. It's a 1/4. So R ka size is 4 times that of B, which means that when B is undergoing 4 rotation, R will be undergoing 1 rotation. Why? Because the diameter is 4 times. So since B is undergoing 18 rotations, R will undergo 18 divided by 4, which is equal to 4.5 rotations. Now, R and Q are connected through the same center, which means how many over rotation R will be undergoing, Q will also be undergoing the same number of rotation. So R is undergoing 4.5 rotation, which means Q will also be, I'm using a different color, 1 second, which means that Q will also be undergoing 4.5 rotation. Okay. Q and S are connected with each other. Now between Q and S, Q is diameter 20, Q ka diameter is 20, S ka diameter is 40. Which means that when Q is undergoing 1 rotation, S will be undergoing half rotation. Q will undergo 1 more rotation, S will undergo full rotation, 1 full. So 2:1 ratio is there, which means Q is undergoing 4.5 rotation. So I have to divide it by 2. So 4.5 divided by 2, which is equal to 2.25 rotation is what we are looking at, is what S will undergo. If P is undergoing 4.5 rotation, after this whole relationship, we found that S will undergo 2.25 rotations. Okay. We'll move to the next one. The image shows distribution of marks secured by 2,500 students. It's secured by 2,500 students for a particular district in 4 subjects. Which of the statements must be true? We are not going to look at the diagram now. We are literally in these kind of questions, we go from options because we have to find statement or statements to be true. One or more option is correct here. So first one, if 50 marks are required for passing, more students will fail in English than in Hindi. 50 marks are required in passing, then more students will fail in English than in Hindi. Now, in these kind of curves question, just do a small thing in your sketchbook before you start going about, and it will make your life easier in the exam. just just write the middle range. So for English, the middle average is 50. Just make this small diagram in your sketchbooks, okay? Just 1 second now, let me complete this. English, maths, Hindi, and science. Just make the small diagram in your sketchbooks where you write the middle value, which is the average 50. We'll write all the middle values. English is 50, maths is 66, Hindi is 57, science is 65. Now then we won't write the ends value, or let's just write it, okay? Let's just write it. It's not required. 20 and 80, 60 and 72, 42 and 72, 50 and 80. And now what I will do is I'll find the difference between the two. How much is this spread out? So this is 30 and this is 30 on both the sides. This is 6 and this is 6. This will be 15. 15. Yeah. This will be 15 and 15 each. Okay. Once you're done this, what I'm trying to do is, what is the distribution? What is the distribution from the of the grades from the average grades, and what is the standard deviation? The deviation in the most of the cases in English is 30 on both the sides. Maths is 6 marks from the average. Hindi it's 15 marks from the average, and science is also 15 marks from the average. Okay, just do this small exercise before you do this, and it's very quick. So we'll start with the first one. If 50 marks are required for passing, most students will fail in English than in Hindi. English and Hindi. English में 50 is the average. If 50 becomes the passing grade, which means half of the students will be failing. Half of the students will be failing here in English. Versus in Hindi, if 50 is the average, which will be falling somewhere here, less than half of the students will be failing. So option A is correct. More students will fail in English over Hindi, which is true. If option B, if 75 marks are required for securing a distinction, most distinctions will be awarded in English. 75 marks if is required for awarding distinction. The 75 will come somewhere here, middle part. 1/4 of the class will be awarded distinction here. In maths, nobody will be given a distinction if 75 marks are secured. So 0 students are getting distinction. In Hindi also 72 is the highest, which means no student is getting distinction in Hindi. In science, 75 will be coming 10, so somewhere here. It's more than 1/4 of it, which means that option B, which is talking about 75 marks are required for securing a distinction. Most students will be awarded distinction, which is true in English. 1/4 of the students will be getting distinction in English. The average marks secured in science is highest compared to other subjects. Average marks secured in science is 65, but in maths we are getting more. Average marks in maths is 66. So if this was maths, then it will be correct, but otherwise it is wrong. Students have performed more uniformly in maths than in any other subject, which is true. Students have performed more uniformly in maths than in any subjects because the standard deviation is 6. The deviation from the average is 6 on both the sides. Versus in the other case is 30, 15, and 15. What it means is more uniformly performed in maths, which means the highest and the lowest are closest to the average marks, which is correct. So option D is correct. Okay, we'll move to the next one. Sorry. There's one more, sorry, I did one small mistake here. In this case, in case of option B, 75 marks when they become distinction. I'm just trying to, I'm not looking at this, but I'm just trying to hatch this part. Versus in English, it is actually coming here. So this was a very close call. If I were just relying on this like I did right now, it was wrong. But when I just re-looked at the graph of 75 marks ka shaded portion, what it came was science is the one where most distinction will be awarded instead of English. So B will be option B will be wrong. So correct option in this case is A and D. I'm sorry for this. Because I was relying on this abstract diagram for these kind of answers. That's where I got it. I did this small mistake. So ideally, when you look at this diagram and just shade the portion, you get the number of students, which is equal to, which means that science has more number compared to English. So science is the place where you will be getting more distinctions. Okay. You're given the top view of four objects, which is what it looks like. This is what it looks like, the all four objects. Light is falling at an angle of 45 degrees from the ground in the direction marked, which is this direction. Corresponding shadows are formed on the ground, which this is the gray part that you see here. The black part are the objects, and the gray part that you see here are the shadows, which is the correct option, which depicts the correct arrangement of the object. In this kind of question, you don't have a choice but to go from option by option. So in case of option A, this is correct. This part also is correct because there is no vertical member. There's no vertical member here, which is correct. In case of this is where it falls because यहाँ पे you are seeing a vertical, but यहाँ पे कोई vertical नहीं है. So ये वाला part गलत है. Although D का shadow भी सही है, but A is wrong that way. We'll go to option C. C is correct because there is a vertical present here, जिसका shadow यहाँ पे गिरेगा. This is correct. This is also correct. यहाँ का vertical का आपको मिल जाएगा shadow. ये भी correct है. Option B is correct. Option C will go. This is correct. This, and length. ये भी सही है. ये भी सही है because you get the vertical, which is this vertical. और D is भी सही है because ये जो although it's a plate, but इसका shadow आपको मिल जाएगा. If light were following at this angle, this plate would look like a line, but light यहाँ से गिर रही है आपकी, so ये वाले plate का shadow ऐसा ही दिखेगा. So C is correct. Option D. In option D, this is a problem. यहाँ पे like you have a plate here, you have a plate here, or you have a solid here. यहाँ पे there has to be something. So C in option D, this is wrong. So D is wrong. Option B and C are the ones which are correct. Go to the next one. Two views of a solid are shown here. Which of the option is or are the view of the same solid? Very simple. In this case, just look at one part. In this kind of question, I generally start, if I were to solve in your place, what I will do is I'll follow something which is very unique and which I can observe in the options. In the option, when I compare the option figures, all four figures option correct appropriately, I'll find I'll look at this two distinct part which are coming here, and I'll just draw all the parts where these two parts, I'm not talking about the exact geometry, but they are actually different. In all the cases, the orientation is very different. For example, in A, one is oriented in the top view like this versus in the other part, this gets rotated and then it becomes something like this. Okay. It's rotated. So this relationship, which is seen in A, is correctly observed here, where एक view ये top view का है, तो for example, if I'm calling this to be a top view, तो ये इसका rotated version यहाँ पे आएगा, which is established in A. The same thing is also established in option C, where if this is the top view of one part, ये उसका rotated version है, ये उसका rotated version है. जैसे ये वाला जो sector है, वो sector यहाँ पे आ रहा है. But in case of option D, both the parts have sector on top, which is wrong. C and A are correct that way. D में भी sector नहीं आ रहा है, sector दोनों side का sector on the sides आ रहा है आपके. ये वाला जो sector है on the sides आ रहा है. So B is also wrong. So A and C are the ones which are correct. Okay. You're given the following statements here. It's a paragraph based question. So you're given a paragraph and you're given some statements here. You have to, based on these statements only, you have to suggest which of the option will be implied from these statements or these quotations. That poor girl trudging through the dust, dreaming of an education for her children. Do we think that we are better than she is? We, stuffed full of food, our cupboards full of clothes, stifling in our superfluities. I think it is that girl and the women who were talking about books and an education when they had not eaten for 3 days, and that may yet define us. We'll look at the statement. What it means is this is a poor girl. She values education because it's written here. I think that the girl and the women who were talking about books and an education when they had not eaten for 3 days, which means that they value education more over food, over cupboard, or even clothes, as a matter of fact. Dust dreaming, because it's also written there, they are dust dreaming of education. And on the other side, we are stuffed with food, cupboards, clothes, and we are stifling in our superfluous nature. So we'll look at, after implying this, we'll look at the statements. Poor people should not concentrate on superfluous things like books. That's wrong. That's not being implied. In fact, they value books. Even poor people who go without food for days may care about books and education, which is true. Even though the women, the girl, they're going without food for days, they still value books and education. For people to think about books, they first have to be well fed. No, they are not. That's wrong. Even poor people can think about books and education, even if they are not well fed. That's what it's written here. Excessive consumption is superfluous and stifling, which is true. This part suggests that. So in this case, option B and D are correct. Go to the next one. You're given different logos. You have to find which is the correct logo of the car, Mahindra or Mahindra company. In this case, the correct option is A. Here, you are shown a font, and that same font is used to write different letters from A to Z. How many of these letters, if flipped along the horizontal axis, can still be read as capital letters? We'll start from one option to the other. What it means that when I'm flipping them along the horizontal axis, they will still be read as capital letters. So in this case, option A, the letter will start with the letter A. When I'm flipping the letter A along the horizontal axis, it will look something like this, which means that this is what option V looks like, which means A will look like some or the other capital letter. So A is 1 and B is 2nd. B is also, when I look at flipping it along the horizontal axis, it will look exactly the same. So 2. This letter, when you flip along the horizontal axis, it will again look exactly the same. 3, this was also the case, same case. 4. In this case, when you flip the letter along the horizontal axis, it will look something like this. which is what this letter E will look like. So 5, 6. G में it's wrong, G नहीं आएगा. H is correct. H का भी आप when you locate it, when you rotate it along the horizontal axis, it will look exactly the same. If you want, I will just draw it. Look like this, which is exactly the same. 8, I also, K also. L नहीं आएगा. M also, M will look, this letter M will look something like this when you flip it, which is what W looks like. So 10, 11, ये नहीं आएगा. This will also, when you rotate it along the horizontal axis, it looks like a mirrored N. So even that won't come. If you want, I will write it, draw it here. Yeah, it will look something like this, which is an inverted N, which is wrong. P भी नहीं आएगा, A भी नहीं, Q भी नहीं आएगा, R also won't come. S will be in inverted S, like N is coming. U also won't be there. T also नहीं आएगा, Y नहीं आएगा. Z, X will come. So I was at number 11, 12, 13. Just count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. This is 12. This is 12. This is 13. This is 14. Yeah, sorry, I miscalculated. I had 2 written in 2 places. So the correct number of letters that we found here are 14. I've numbered them 1, 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14 is the last one, X. So 14 number. Okay. The next one. You're given here 3 types of interlocking rods. This is an exercise in visualization. Okay. There are 12 rods which are given to you total. 6 of type A, 2 of type B, and 4 of type C. What you have to find is the maximum length that can be achieved by connecting the rods appropriately. For the maximum length, in this case, do this exercise of sketching it in your sketchbook. Okay. We'll draw the rod completely, and in order to make it fine, just have this never-ending line. It will be easier for you to just keep on adding the lines. This is first, start with rod A first because that is the longest and I'm supposed to find the maximum length. I need a connector here. Rod A does not have a connector, okay? On B has one connector, but the number is less. So we'll start with the connectors, which has the rod which is maximum connectors. Because in A there are 2 beads which are coming out, that's why I'll use C with 2 connectors. So I'll use C first. This is A, this is C. Again, A, C. Sorry. I'm just drawing it not disproportionately because it's difficult for me to draw everything. Okay, so A, C, A, C. I have used 1, 2, 3, 4, all 4 pieces of C so far. Then I will use A. Now here, A will have a bead coming out. In order to accommodate that bead, I will I have used 5 modules of A, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then there's one bead which is coming out here. For accommodate that bead, I will use rod B, which has one connector. So option B ka one connector and then one bead, and then again I will use another one which connector and a bead at the end. So the distance that I am looking at it 8 plus 4 plus 8 plus 4 plus 8 plus 4 plus 8 plus 4 plus 8 plus, or just don't do this exercise. I mean, it's time consuming. Instead of going around writing it like this, we'll just count number 8 is, the number of rods. So A has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rods. So 5 multiplied by 8 plus C has 4 rod, 1, 2, 3, 4. We are utilizing all 4 of C. 4 multiplied by 4 plus B has 2 parts to it. So 2 multiplied by 6 plus 1 centimeter here and then 1 centimeter here. This is 1 centimeter plus 2. This will be equal to 40 plus 16 plus 12 plus 2, which is equal to 70 centimeters. Okay, we'll move to the next one now. Okay, now in this question, what you're given is, you're given 3 different types of pencil, A, B, C. What you have to find is the total number of pencils of type A. It's easier that way because in type A, if you see the pattern, it is black and 2 white bands. Versus in B, it's white, black, white. Versus in C, it's ulta of B, black, white, black. So wherever I see a larger accumulation of white bands, I know for sure that option A will be there, but still I need to cross check it. I cannot rely just on that, okay? We'll start with, here what we'll do, we'll keep on marking that. So where is A coming? I'll keep on circling it. The first one is A. In order to locate which side the pencil is facing, I will locate the heads there from this side, okay? So this is B. This is C. This is B. This is A. This is A. Because there's a higher accumulation, यहाँ पे A है, but then यहाँ पे 4 bands है, which means this is also A. Then I see this here, band accumulation here. Then I see some band accumulation happening here, but I need to cross check it, whether or not it follows. So if this is A यहाँ तक, which means that this is ये वाला pencil, which is B, and this is A, which means ये भी A है आपका. And yeah, this is A, which means that there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There are 7 pencils of type A. In the exam, when you're seeing this question on the screen, the ideal thing to do is just make a box of this proportion and then keep on hatching the pencils which are A. That's it. It will be easier for you to come and cross check when you go back. Okay. Okay. Here we are given a parallelogram. In the parallelogram, there are a number of other smaller parallelograms also present. What you have to find is the total number of parallelograms. Okay. I'll just count with the parallelograms with no combination, single parallelograms. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 parallelograms which are single. Now I will look at parallelograms which are combination of 2 parallelograms. This is combination of 2 parallelograms. 1, This is combination of two parallelograms. 2. This is combination of two parallelograms. 3. So 8, so 9, 10, 11. Now I will go for higher or more. To more than 2. Okay. So I'll start with first 3 parallelograms. Well, it's not 3, but it's 4, but I will mark it still. Thirteen. Let me use this color. Now this is even more. This is 5 parallelograms, which is 14. And then the last one is the bigger parallelogram, which is this, which is 15. So there are no other parallelograms besides this. So 15 is the total number of parallelograms that are present in the diagram. Okay. What you have to find here is an extruded letter A is provided here. These letter, when this single two-dimensional letter, when extruded, they look something like this. Now I'm extruding the letter love here. How many surfaces would this extruded letter have of love? Okay. In this case, the easiest thing to do is please follow this exercise of sketching it. It's much easier to do it and faster also, instead of visualizing all the surfaces of, okay, instead of visualizing, sorry, all the surfaces of the letter. It will be much easier for you to do it. Okay. So I'll just keep, after doing this, I'll keep on writing the number that are present in each of the parts. So 1, 2, 3, 4, all the, and then 5, all the 5 surfaces, one surface on top and one surface on the bottom. Okay. Sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. One on top and then one on bottom. 6 plus 2, 8. 8 surfaces in L. For O, one curved surface, so 1. Another curved surface, 1 on top and then 1 on bottom. 3 and then 4 on the bottom. So 4 surfaces. Then I will go for V, the letter V. I'll count the surfaces: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 7. 8 surface on top and then 9 surface on the bottom. So V will be 9 surface. E. 1, 2, 3. I'm just counting the vertical, okay? That's why I'm writing it here. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 12 vertical surfaces. One on top surface, this is the top surface and the bottom surface. So 12 plus 2, 14. The total number of surfaces that are there in LOVE letter is 35, which is what I'm looking at. Okay. 8 plus 4 plus 9 plus 14. We'll move to the next one. You have to count the number of unique patterns in the given grid. In this case, in your when this kind of question are coming on the screen, it is difficult to, the way I'm operating, it is difficult to keep on crossing things. First thing. So what you do is you make in this case, in this kind of question, make a grid of 7 by 7 because there are 7 tiles on this side and there are 7 tiles on this side. Make a grid of 7 by 7, keep on crossing the grid. Like for example, if like I know this is, sorry, I'm not drawing it here, but if I know when I draw a grid of 7 by 7, this is different, I will just keep a cross here, which means that this is a unique tile. This is another unique, 3, 4. This is same as this, 5, 6. And then 7. Baki ka all tiles are same. 7 are the total number of tiles that are different in this figure, which is provided here. You have to find the unique patterns that are there. These are the ones which are crossed here are all the unique patterns that are there in this combination. Okay, move to the next one. What you are given below is 8 pieces of a puzzle. They are not arranged correctly. Sorry, they are not arranged correctly in this combination, but when they are arranged correctly, they form a 4-digit number, some 4-digit number. You have to find the number formed after the correct arrangement. Now, in this case, like in any puzzle question that is there, I'll first find the corner pieces. That is the easier thing to do. So I know this looks like left, the bottom corner, because when I rotate it, or it also looks like a top corner. Let's just start with this and this part because they look very similar. That's why. So when I take this on top, in your sketchbook, in the exam, try to make this like a puzzle. Try to draw this literally how it is given. Like this is what this box will look like. So this I'm drawing at the bottom. One piece. This is the second part, which will come at the bottom, which will look something like this. Now I know there is some part coming here. And then I also know that I need a curve here. I need a curve here, and then there will be some part here. So that kind of a curve, I'll try finding that out. And that kind of curve, I'll find it here. I can find a curve here. So I'll start with this first because there is no other curve present anywhere. Okay. So this one. This is the curve which I'm seeing here. Apologies for the proportion which I'm coming. I'm sorry for this. I cannot help it out. I cannot draw the exact figure, but this is what will come here. And then the bottom part, this is either an 8 or a 9 or a 3. 3 is not possible, 8 or a 9 or something. Means if for this to be the 8 part, for instance, I'm assuming if this is 8, there has to be a knot coming at the bottom. I can see a knot here. So let's just go with that hunch and say that, okay, this is going to come at the bottom. And then this corner, which is coming here, can also accommodate this part, which is missing. So that is also, when I rotate it, this corner will come on that side. And then this part will look something like this. So which means this is an 8. It looks something like this. Now, in order for it to complete, I know this part has to be this one, which is coming here. So ये वाला part जो है आपका, okay, let me number, okay? So this is 2, this is 1, this is 4, and which one did I use? This is 3. Now I'll use the next one. I know I need a part here to complete the 8, and I also need a part here to complete this other part. So that kind of a figure I will use from this part because there's a knot here which is getting formulated. So that will come here like this. And then which ये वाला जो part है आपका वो यहाँ पे आएगा. This could be a 2, this could be a 3, anything is possible. But here in 8, there is something which is left behind. ये वाला जो part है आपका, this I had not drawn. So I'm just drawing that here. Okay. Which means this is a base, और फिर ये 3 भी हो सकता है, ये 2 भी हो सकता है. Now for the middle part which is left behind, I may use, I know this part, so I have labeled this to be 5. I know this part is coming somewhere in the middle, so let's just utilize it right away. So if I'm assuming that part to be here, which means ये वाला part यहाँ से ऐसे आएगा. So this is 6. Okay. And then ये वाला part आपका यहाँ का जो last वाला part है वैसे आएगा. Which means ये वाला जो triangle है वो यहाँ पे हो सकता है, but I don't know. But there's one part which is remaining. I'm saving 7, जो I know which is a corner. So I will add that corner here. And then this corner will come somewhere here. That should be something like this. So the construction thereby, so this is part 6, this is part 7, and this is part 8. So the construction of the puzzle will look something like this. I know it is time consuming, but if you have time, you can solve the puzzle very quickly. And if you're good at it, keep on sketching it like this faster. So the number that we are looking at is 2823, which is the answer. Okay. Move the next one. Okay. We'll take this question next time. All right. Thank you so much. We'll end this session here.